Vexed by technology? Not anymore. I'm David Yak here, and this is Yak About Tech. Hey, what's up, everybody? You are watching and listening to Yak About Tech, your GPS guide to everything technology and the impact it has on our daily lives. We are broadcasting, as usual, from the Planet Vero studios, home of iHeartRadio's Waxy 107.9 and 1370 AM, where the fish and the sharks are always biting. All right, with me today is... guess who? We have Sally back. Sally.
Hello, hello, hello.
Now, everybody out there knows we are in the summer of our beta testing of the video. And just to bring everybody up to speed, because I do this both in the blog and I try to do it on the show. And that is to tell everybody where we're at.
By the way, that was my Valerie Cherish impersonation. If anybody watches the comeback, they'll get that.
Well, next time we do the show, they'll be seeing you do it because we'll have all the video up. So this is where we are this week. We have finally gotten all the cameras. I think we have, about six camera studio now. We've got brand new lighting in, although we're not using it all right now. And right now we're going to be doing a one-camera shoot. The other 5 are down because the studio is undergoing a renovation. And for all of you that have written in about the beautiful piece of sofa that has been here during our beta testing, sorry to say, for those of you that love it, it is being removed. And we will have a new set in here, I think, in about a week or so. Is that right, Sally?
Yep. It's been relegated to the lobby.
All right. So, while we're doing this beta testing, I've been having really quite a few conversations online with people on how to do the show. When we first started this, I guess about 10 months ago, the idea was to try to do a show that sort of would enlighten people, sort of bring information about the latest technology out there, how it's impacting our lives. And video, and a new element was introduced by having video. And the idea is now we can do so much more. And we've been trying to do some brainstorming online about how we should really design the show when we come back in the fall, hopefully for our usual hour. As you know, for the summer, we went to a half hour, and in the fall, we're hoping to come back for the full hour. And some of the suggestions I'd gotten had been to actually do the audio part that we use on the radio for a half hour, and then supplement it when we go online. That way I can answer a lot of questions about how to and actually visually show people the answers to some of the questions that we were receiving.
And David, the live stream provides us with a chat screen. And so we're trying to figure out a way to remote the chat screen to the host so that people can go on live stream and type in their questions to you in real time.
Well, actually, I don't think that's really difficult. And the reason I don't think it's difficult, because both in the live stream app and the application that runs on the Windows and Mac computers, we could actually keep Sally keeps pointing me back to the camera. Sorry, guys. I'm so, it's one of those things where before video, I could actually look at Sally and we could carry on a conversation face to face. And now I have
face to back, you mean?
No, face to back, but at least we get to turn around and look and chat with each other. And I think we'll be able to do that because once we actually have all the cameras up and we do have the screen, we'll be looking at the screen and we'll be able to actually see each other on the screen. So it'll
Won't
be
that
as
be
if
fun?
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. As you can tell, we're bringing you along at the technology with us. Anyway, the question I was going to ask you guys is when we are finished with the beta and we are live streaming on a regular basis and we have everything in place, as Sally said, we will have the ability to chat live, which is something we hadn't had, before. And for somebody like me and for this show, it seems that if we could chat live, then I could actually open up like a segment of 10 or 15 minutes and take the questions, because what's happening now is we're doing the show, and after the show, I'll go check our Facebook accounts and our Twitter accounts and email, and I'll get questions. And those that I actually can answer, because just by talking them through, I try to do. But what I can't do is show you.
And David, I think if somebody if they're breathing, they have tech questions in this world.
That's right. That's right. But so here's what I'm going out to the audience to ask right now, and then I'll tell you how to answer the question. Okay, if we're going to put together the 1 hour broadcast, what would you like to see in the show? So if you have ideas and recommendations, the show is designed for you guys out there as a way to inform you on the latest technology, the latest news in technology. And if you tell me what you're looking for, we will design the show, and we'll do what we can when we're in the studio, and we'll supplement it when we're sitting down at the computer and
can I have a vote?
Completing. You definitely have a vote. Go ahead.
Because I
First
just
one.
love it when you review apps and their usefulness in everyday life. I mean, I have a smartphone, but I was not app savvy at all. It wasn't even in my realm of consciousness to go seek out all these various apps that you've told us about. And some of them are so incredibly useful. So I love that aspect of your show.
Yeah, I also liked doing that. And that was a case in point where I thought we were limited, because I could talk through, but again, to show people how an app is used. Right now I have the ability to say, a perfect example is I always talk about how I organize the show in Pocket, which allows me anything I read that I find of interest or I think would be interesting to the audience, I'll clip it, it goes into Pocket, and then when we're getting ready to put the show together, what I'll do is I'll go into Pocket and I'll see the list of articles, the list of all the things that I had saved in there. And what I love about it is it runs not only on Windows and Macs, but it runs on Android and also iOS, iPhone
Now,
devices.
I sent you an article once because I thought it would be cool to talk about, and I think we might have already talked about it, but it might be worth repeating because it was so bizarre that in Japan they taught a computer how to fight with a samurai sword, and it's actually better than a human samurai.
So is it done on the computer, or is it actually sort of a droid, a robot?
The robot wields the sword. And although it is stationary, thankfully, they had a competition between the live samurai and the sword, and they did certain functions and which one would do it faster. And of course, the computer beat the pants off of him. And my question was, why are we teaching computers to wield swords? Not a good. It seems very Terminator to me.
Well, it brings up it's actually a great lead-in to a new show I'm watching, and I'm trying to think what channel it's on.
Humans?
Humans. Are you watching Humans?
Yes.
It's exactly that. And what's so interesting about Humans, for you folks out there who haven't seen the show, we've gotten to a point where we can actually build what I guess we call an android, not the phone, but the sort of a human looking and acting robot.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this particular show, and I'm glad you actually brought up the whole samurai thing, because the basic premise is this isn't so much science fiction, the show. It's to show what happens when we've actually duplicated ourselves in a robot form and how we interact. And the interesting, one of the interesting things in the show is that these androids, who are virtually human in the way they interact and do everything, can be taught any skill. So what happens to the jobs market, which is a reminder of when factories first put in robotics.
Yeah.
Everybody said this was going to be the greatest loss in the United States for jobs, and millions of jobs are going to be lost because people weren't on car lines anymore putting the pieces together. Now it was all done by robotics. As it turns out, every time there's an advance in technology, that technology itself produces more jobs. not only to build the technologies, invent how it works, but to maintain it. So the job sort of changes. Well, this takes it to the ultimate place. It takes it to where not only are they doctors, they could be lawyers because they're programmed with every bit of information, and they all can go out to the net for, unlimited amount of information, but they can do virtually every chore a human can do.
I have surgery pending, and they are using robotics to do it.
Are they doing it? So is the surgery happening in the room? Is the robot in the room and the doctor someplace else?
Yeah, well, I guess they're together, but somehow the robot makes the decision about. I don't really know how it works. I know my brother had this robotic surgery too, a different type of surgery.
We'll have to get somebody on that really can explain this. But the two instances that I've seen, and I think it was on one of the PBS stations when they were showing the latest technology in robotic surgery, is in one case. The surgeon is obviously in the room with his hands attached to the computer, and the robot arms are actually doing the surgery. So the doctor is actually controlling it, but the precision by which the mechanical arms can do the surgery is much more precise than the way the doctor can do it. But what is really, truly miraculous is when that doctor is in a New York hospital and the actual robot is in Africa.
Wow.
And over the net, the doctor's doing exactly the same thing. He's performing the surgery, and the robotic arms are in Africa or wherever the surgery is taking place. And so he's doing the exact same surgery, except, 5,000 or 10,000 miles apart.
Well, and P.S. I heard this week that certain cars were being hacked, and that you could actually hack a car and disable the brakes and
we
make
have
it
that
take
as one
off.
we have that as one of our news items this week.
Well, I don't want them hacking the robot who's doing my surgery. P.S.
Well, it's you bring up, Sally. I know these are things that greatly concern you because I've known you now a long time, and I always have to walk in and reassure you that. These little devils that are taking over everything, somebody's trying to do something about.
Well, I'm just saying, it's kind of bizarre that you can hack into somebody's car. My goodness.
Okay, so let's talk about that. The car, I think they showed the demonstration with the Jeep, Chrysler.
Right.
So here's the general way it works. And again, like everything else I do on the show, I just keep things rather sort of simplistic, more simplistic so people can understand it. It is, something, before I explain it, why don't we go to break?
Okay.
Because I think we're past our 10-minute mark. And when I come back, I do want to talk about one of our sponsors.
Okay, great.
And we're back, and it's just Sally and I today, and I'm so happy Sally's back with me. I thought she really passed me on to someone else for a while there.
I enjoy it.
Yes.
I miss it when I'm gone.
I know, I missed you too, although
but
Wayne
I had a great vacay.
Oh, I know. I followed it on, of course, I followed it on Facebook. All right, so we're going to talk about the Jeep for a second, but this is a place, and I have a really great story to tell. People I always talk about how the show is being sponsored by New Vision Eye Center, and and I usually say how great these doctors are, just great. So and I would normally say partially sponsored by, and I really don't trust my eyes to anybody else, which is the truth. And you're always so lucky to have a sponsor that you believe in. But I need to tell you a better story, Sally. So in the community, for those of us who wake up about 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning with our dogs, we sort of all meet, walking the dogs, and we have our chat, mostly about the weather.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm walking down, and, they all do right by me, and they listen to the show on a regular basis. And all of a sudden, there's one of my neighbors turns around and goes, David, you got to get rid of the glasses now, right? I just got bifocal contacts. I said, how are you liking them? She goes, they're great. They're so much better. They've perfected them. So I said, well, who'd you go to? And she goes, I went to your guy. And I'm sitting there going, my guy? I don't think I ever told her who my guy was. And I said, and who's that? goes, "Oh, I went to that New Vision Eye Center." Goes, "That's your guy." And I said, "That's so great.
That is your guy.
That is my guy." So I thought that was so great.
Aw.
And now, so I think, most of us who live in the community are wearing sort of progressives or bifocals at this point in our lives. And so now we'll have a community get together. I think we're all running in to put our bifocal contacts on.
Running in to see Dr. Minotti.
Running in to see Dr. Minotti.
And company.
All right. And, the other thought I had, and Sally, we talk about this all the time. In preparing for the show, coming back full time in the fall and really getting into, talking with people and tech, I'm always interested in having the discussion of how technology is impacting, science or medicine and all that. And you got to remind me, because I think it's important. I think Dr. Minotti and one of the other doctors there, we should have as a guest.
Oh,
because
yes.
people are really interested. There's so much new technology that's taking place, that's going on, that it would be, and especially with our audience, in our, in our market, it would be great for everybody to really understand that you really can keep your sight healthy.
Well, they have a robotic system there for cataract surgery. They'll have to tell you more about it, but it's very impressive. It's state of the art. They were one of the first eye centers to have it, and we're definitely gonna have them on. I know they're crazy busy, but maybe we can get them on an off day, when That'd
they're
be
closed,
great. Yeah.
and maybe we'll record on a day other than when we usually do, and probably when they're booked. All right. So we look forward to having New Vision guys on and Dr. Minotti, and that would be great. So the Jeep. So you asked about the Jeep.
Yes.
So here it goes. So how they're putting in, Wi-Fi, and well, not all cars have Wi-Fi, but they're really putting in cell phone service is what it amounts to in cars now. And that's how, you can call for help and that type of thing. Well, that's also hooked into all the systems. So when you call OnStar and you push the OnStar button and OnStar says, "Wait, I'll do a checkup on your car," it's because they can get into all the systems in the car. So if they can get into the systems, it means that it's only a matter of programming, somebody really getting in and bypassing them and getting into your car and can actually take control of the car. And this is true, and it can happen. There are many safeguards in place right now for most cars, but like anything else, as everything becomes code, and when I say that, where everything we do is programmed, your cars are now mostly computer operated, and almost everything we do in our households will be. As long as we can keep security tight, we're okay. But somebody will always be hacking. And the idea is that companies and the government are spending billions and billions and trillions of dollars around the world right now preventing that from happening.
Of course, conspiracy theorists, I keep up with all of them.
I know.
There are a couple of famous car accidents that conspiracy theorists feel the cars were hacked and forced to crash. One is a reporter named Hastings. You can look it up on the web. And the other is Princess Diana.
I had heard
just
those.
Food for thought.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. In this particular case, because I think you and I may have the sort of fundamental disagreements of how far we're willing to listen to conspiracies.
Yeah,
but
it's like dessert to me. I love to just ponder those crazy things.
Right. Well, the truth is, the saying, even paranoids have enemies.
Right. Or there was a T-shirt once that said, "Just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean people aren't out to get me." That's right.
That's right. But it's how much we believe. In those cases, I don't know. I've heard those theories.
Yeah.
But this is one of the things that could absolutely be true because, quite frankly, it only takes a computer user to be able to hack into these systems. Anyway, to your point, Jeep Chrysler has recalled, I think, 1.4 million cars to patch up the hack. So that'll be taken care of soon, and I think there'll be a lot of learnings there.
Well, and I get a bad rap. My friends tease me and call me Daughter of Darkness because I follow all of this stuff. But it's really a mind that loves to ponder possibilities. That's really, and some of them are good and some of them are bad.
That's right.
And a lot of them are really amazing. The possibilities. I think that's why I love your show so much, because we're always talking about what's on the horizon and the possibilities for mankind.
That's right. And talking about the show and talking to us, what I didn't tell you guys when I asked you for your help in helping design the show for the fall is, once again, how to get in touch with us. Now, the easiest way, everybody knows how to use email. Not everybody's on Twitter, and not everybody is using Facebook, although I suspect that if you're a parent or a grandparent, you are using Facebook, because that's the way you get to see every single picture of your family and everything they're doing, and you get to follow all your friends and friends' family. Like I spend my evenings following Sally's children and grandchildren on a regular basis. So you're probably on Facebook. So you can get us on Facebook / Yak About Tech. Also Planet Vero. And that would be one word. Don't do it in 2 words. But if you want to listen to the show, the broadcast, you can always sign up to iTunes. We're also on TuneIn Radio, and we'll be building out the YouTube channel as we professionalize our videos. But you can get us on Instacast, Stitcher, almost every place, or just write me at yakabouttech@gmail, and that'll get your questions to me. So I hope to hear from you, and you can help me do the show. All right, so here's an interesting, fun article, and I think we have like a minute to go, and we'll talk more about it next week, is the court ruled that butt dials are not private. And we'll be talking about that next week, but apparently a senior person in a company was over in Italy and butt dialed an assistant, and the assistant listened in on the conversation for 90 minutes and heard that the plans were to fire her boss. So she had recorded this on the call, and so she was sued for illegally eavesdropping, and the court said that butt call was a legitimate call that she had the right to record.
Wow.
So I thought that was an interesting thing. Anyway, next week I'm going to talk about Neil deGrasse Tyson.
You got to watch your butt.
And also next week we'll be talking about a new service we're offering right here in this community. So I'm David Yeck here, and for me and Sally, come back and see us next time.